None?
Running a store is like being a bad student. I can do my homework. It's due tomorrow. Oh, God.
Wait, no. Okay, screw you guys. Ready? This is take 5. Whoa. Welcome to MTZWBY with you, America's most favorite fifth take MTG podcast. I'm, of course, joined by the man who's high in his own supply, Josh.
It's funny because he looks like he's high now.
You finally got the intro right. I'm so proud of you.
It's Seth Rogen.
Oh, that's who it is. You have a picture handy?
Yeah. Josh, can you take off your hat?
Don't do it. It's a trap.
No. No, I can't.
Oh, all right. Who else are we joined by, George?
I am also joined by the man who had his birthday the same day he celebrated 90,000 subscribers, and the same day he celebrated 10 million views.
Yes.
We
got to 90,000 subscribers and 882,000 of them left. 81. I can't do math. I can't read. Can't do math.
No, this works out. We're talking about the market this week, and you guys are just making up numbers. I'm in.
And we're joined by George, who can't get anything right, and that is why we're taking this
not accurate tonight. YouTube bozos.
I don't know, my friend. Yeah. We got the tape.
All right, so welcome to round 5 or 6. It's already late. This will be a good one.
This will be a good one.
So today we are chatting again for us about the Black Lotus sale going to almost $1 million. 60% of that,
or halfway.
The list slot. We're going to debate the list slot. It's going to be ugly.
Maybe.
We're going to give our final thoughts on your mom, March of the Machine. We're going to talk about Genesis, card game that just shut their doors. We're going to talk about Cryptic and Wave 2, Lorcana spoiler season, and then we're going to talk about Metazoo's newest set, Native, a little bit. So let's get into discussion on the Black Lotus sale. Josh, give us all the skinny on what the sale was and is, so I don't mess it up.
Okay. Yes, you struggled with this in the first go round. There have been 2 record-breaking Black Lotus sales. The first was a PSA 10 Alpha Black Lotus, which sold for $540,000. But not to be outdone, an artist proof was then sold at an 8.5, not PSA 10, an 8.5 for $615,000.
Wow,
that's a lot of cheddar.
That is a lot of cheddar. And George, you had an interesting question about the difference between those 2 cards.
The question, George, because I know that stupid look on your face is, which would you rather have, an Alpha Lotus?
That's not about those 2 cards. Yeah, I mean, like
an Alpha PS.
Which would you have is a question about those 2 cards.
No, it's not. All right, so you got those 2 cards in front of you. Which one are you grabbing?
I'm taking the Alpha Lotus. All day long. I know it went for less. The PSA 10 Lotus.
Yeah, so it's baffling to me that this went for less than the Alpha Lotus. The Alpha Lotus pop report for 10 is 6 cards. There are 6 PSA 10 Alpha Lotuses.
Same number it takes as this podcast.
As many one-of-one rings that will exist.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so George, you take the 1 ring. You got 3 cards in front of you.
Yeah, we've been through this. He already said he'd take the 1 ring, right?
No, I think he was with us. I think he was on the low tie.
I hate it when we all agree on things. There's nothing to talk about if we all agree on it.
No, but it's interesting. Like the artist proof went for more though. Like we're all clearly wrong, or was the top 10 sold at the wrong time?
I think we're all clearly wrong, but like also in addition to us always being wrong, is that it. I think if you're a whale in Magic. You have an Alpha Lotus. It might not be a PSA 10. It might be a PSA 9. Might be a BGS 9.5. What's the pop report of a BGS 9.5? I mean, like it might be.
It doesn't matter because BGS sucks.
Boom.
It might be God tonight. It might be. You have an Alpha Lotus,
right?
There are far fewer, obviously, artist proofs to go around.
Sure.
So if you're a whale, you already have an Alpha Lotus, you might not be willing to pay the upcharge to get a PSA 10, whereas you are saying, I will pay for the artist proof. Because there's less of those to go around, obviously.
So I think you missed the mark here. I think the win on this particular card it's a Christopher Rush artist proof. So you're hitting not only people who want Lotus, Black Lotus, iconic Magic the Gathering card,
Cryptic fans for Brassman's Will,
but also people who like Cryptic. No, but you're also getting people who love, Christopher Rush. They are Christopher Rush collectors, and that's probably where the premium comes with this particular card. I think if you were to take the average alpha card that was, and compare a artist proof to the rare alpha rare, you would see the alpha rare would see more value. But like, because this is Christopher Rush and his artist proof, that's probably the multiplier, in my opinion.
So, and not to correct Louis, because as our resident whale who does talk about Magic, Louis is kind of the expert on this situation. There is a difference between the two.
I could not be further from a whale.
Oh no, not financially.
Good.
But the artist proof card was signed on the card, while the Pop 10 had the case signed by Christopher Rush. So there's a difference in signature there as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, card versus case.
I rather have the case signed. This is where I'm just different than most.
I like signed cards.
I like the case signed, because then if you want to sell it to somebody if somebody wants to buy it who doesn't want an autograph, you're not limiting your market.
They're gonna rub the signature off the case.
I'm not saying to do that, but like
Louis does it every night.
You have the ability.
He's buying these autograph cards. This will show him.
Got him. No, I don't think
Christopher Rush's ghost.
That is a huge difference, though. Like,
get that crap off my Brassman Will.
Jesus. You guys are wild today. I don't know. I think it's different. I do like that the artist proof is the one signed by the artist, though. Like, if I was going to get the card signed by the artist, I want the artist proof more than the alpha one signed by the artist. I want the alpha one to be clean, untouched.
Okay, great. All right, so let's talk about the market.
Okay, no, I have another topic.
Highest selling card. Nobody cares about this conversation, guys.
Would you rather have the one ring or the artist proof? Not the alpha. Alpha wins. We get that.
Listen, I want a Lotus. I don't care about the ring. Lord of the Rings sucks.
No, I want the ring. I think I can trade the ring to an actual Lotus.
I know what I want.
What do you want?
I want.
Is it a Pokemon card? It's a Pokemon card.
I want the ring so I can go to New Zealand.
Oh, that's right. There's a standing offer to send someone to New Zealand with the ring.
If you grade it with like a company that's not PSA or BTS.
You can pop the grade open. You can cut.
That's what I'm over there.
That thought crossed my mind. What if somebody does that? What if somebody does that?
To have that card and be like, hey, Dana, let's go to New Zealand because of Magic the Gathering. Like, and it's like paid for. I'm all in.
I would rather have the one ring than the artist proof. Artist proofs do nothing for me.
Yeah, I like legitimate cards.
All right.
Yeah.
You ready for your comment section to blow up, Louis?
Love it. Let's go, baby.
I don't care about the art for the Alpha Lotus. For the Lotus. I don't love the art.
That's just a bad take.
That's just a bad take. You're just wrong.
Yeah. Listen, we know your art. The art style you like. I love
the gold Lotus art.
We know the art style you like because we see your stupid shirts and your stupid painting behind you. So we all know that you have bad taste already. So. I'm sorry, that was mean. I think you're beautiful and that you are a sweet soul. All right, so
be kind to the people around you. And if you can't, take it back.
Highest selling Magic card of all time, right? Am I wrong? Other than the Post Malone claiming he bought one for 800,000.
Yeah, I remember that was he said that he did. I don't know if there's any record of that.
Wow, calling out
Posty, liar.
Posty.
You just implied the same thing.
Post Malone is a liar. I did not imply that. I was asking if that was the highest sold card of all time. I said
you flip-flop more than spring break footwear.
I like that one. That's a good one. Josh gets a point. Josh gets a point. Josh gets a point.
I don't like Post Malone either. So, all right. So let's talk. Let's say it's the highest selling Magic card of all time. Blah blah. Is the market back? Are we from a collectible investable TCG side? is the market back? Should you be buying? If you like it, George, blah, 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 blah. This isn't financial advice. Are you buying Magic cards right now, trading card games as investments?
Set the trend.
No, I never did, and you never should, in my opinion. In one Batman's opinion, I would not buy cardboard as a long-term investment.
Unless they're Serialized Brothers War cards.
Yes, obviously. I mean, listen, the risk reward for cardboard is high. The risk for cardboard is high. And so let's here is where I do think that we are back a little bit, though. Magic has put out nothing but bangers this year. Despite Louis' FUD videos, despite Louis FUDding every set and telling you not to buy it, then trying to hawk it to his patrons every set.
That is not at all.
That was a shot across the bow.
Not at all what happens.
SS Kitchen Table taking on water.
The Magic sets this year have done very, very, very well. And there's been a lot of eyeballs on Magic. And when you're talking about a speculative investment, more eyeballs tend to lead to higher prices.
I agree with you that the sets have been absolute bangers. I think the regular enthusiast is enjoying a healthier market. The original question was is this Lotus a sign, the sales a sign that everything is back? I think most people who follow the TCG market, and we agree Magic and Pokemon are the TCG market. Maybe Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Louis bought some this week, but other than that, there's really not
buy Yu-Gi-Oh! This week. I've been selling Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't put words into my mouth.
Sorry, that's true. That's fair. You are selling Yu-Gi-Oh! This week. But these sales just don't seem to affect the normal things that people are buying and can't afford. I don't know if these are so high and far and above everything else. I don't think they're driving the market forward. I think it sits above, and these things kind of stand on their own.
I agree with that. I don't think that these sales dictate that the market's back, but the conversation in the TCG world has been the market's back. We've seen Rudy put out videos saying everything's pumping again. Literally every TCG is pumping again.
Yeah.
We've seen the Pokemon market. People are, the Sword and Shield era. Everybody is talking about
not
boxes
so much this last set though.
This last set. Maybe
it's a consumer-centric set, George. It's really good for the consumer.
That's a great point, Josh. It's actually really good. The prices are so cheap.
I agree with you, Josh.
Everybody can consume them.
I disagree, though, Georgia. Everything has been on fire for Magic. Look at Dominaria Remastered. Boxes are $154 right now. You think that's flying?
I think that's doing. Listen, I think that's fine. Compared
also
this year's Magic sets to last year's Magic sets, they're doing way better.
So compare Dominaria Remastered to Time Spiral Remastered,
which wasn't last year. That was a year before, I believe.
I know, but it's the last time we've had
compared to it during the COVID boom, this is doing worse. I agree with you.
That might be fair.
And listen, there's something to be said that the theme of these sets, I think we've all learned, Louis and I being on YouTube in the Magic sphere for a little while now have learned, we said lore doesn't matter. I get a lot of comments about people like the flavor and the lore of these sets, and that's why kind of they're buying in and they want these products. So maybe we underestimated that. Maybe there's something to their popular planes, their popular stories, and that's why people are eating the product up.
Yeah, and I think we said this previously on the one that got away. That
which one of the five?
Get the intro right next time.
We kind of all agreed that the Magic market overcorrected to the negative, and I said that it was a lot due to Magic 30th, that there was a bigger reaction to Magic 30th than there was in the rest of the TCG industry. I still think that's true. I think that Magic is rebounding right now because it dipped so low. But I still think the way that the world's going, I would not encourage anybody to think that in the next 3 to 4 years we're going to see significant increases in cardboard.
And this is where I think our good friend Dr. Rudy gets a bad rap. What Rudy has always said is he hopes these things go up 5 to 8% a year.
Yes.
That's a good return on an investment.
Not that you should make an investment in cardboard.
No, I'm not. It's not financial advice. Listen, I owned very few Magic cards as like for my personal self. Like it's only really since COVID we've seen this kind of like, oh, it goes up 300%. Now it's down 70%. Now it's up 100%. Now it's down 80%. I mean, like, and like that's relatively new. Like, you know, even when I first started my store, it was like if you put stuff in the back, if you put stuff in the back room, if you buy, you know, when distributors do last call and you hold it for 5 years, it'll go up for 30-40%.
Right.
That's gone. Like now it's like, why aren't my attendees here today? Why aren't my attendees here today? Like that's relatively new.
Well,
But I actually disagree with you. I think that things are actually trending downwards. Like I just pulled up while you were talking, because you said 5 years, and that's been a Rudy conversation for forever, right? Is that if you hold sealed product for 5 years, then you know you exit it, and that's the thing. But I think we're starting to see that there's a 5-year window where you basically have to sell before things start depreciating again.
What
if you look
about 5 years ago,
so like I'm looking at Ixalan right now. And Ixalan jumped up to in October of 2022, September, October of 2022. So post COVID, we're not in, you know, we're not in the COVID bubble. This is, you know, post crash. It was 170 a box. Now it's sitting at 155. So
but
it is.
I'll bet you that box back then
145.
was like, bet you that box back then was $50 or $60.
No, 50 or 60 bucks? No way.
5 years ago?
No, it was 80 to 90.
it might not have been 50 or 60, but it was definitely it was closer to 80 than it was 90, I would assume.
Okay, so over 80, so $80 to 150 right now ish. You're up almost 100% in 5 years.
You're like you're up 80% in 5 years.
Listen,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
if somebody were like, in 5 years you can be up 80%, I would take that 100% of the time.
Well, it's not actually that either.
Because you gotta pay for shipping and stuff.
After fees and shipping, you're at $113 a box. So if you paid $80, let's say you paid $80 for the box, not including whatever patron fees you have to do to get that. Let's say you paid $80 a box, you're up $33. You're up 40%.
Yeah, and like that's not a bad return. Like, and listen, I think this is
what other sets came out that year.
I don't know. I just pulled Ixalan. I pulled Ixalan and Amonkhet.
But there's something
dipped down too.
Before you guys get into the weeds about what sets came out this year, there's something that has happened with the and we keep tying this to Rudy. It's not necessarily deserves to be tied to one person, but like, listen, the idea of but this rudification, we'll call it, of like buying boxes and having them go up, right? That's what this is for. It is for the long game. It is meant to be played over years and years of time. And those people that are in there that are buying and selling and complaining in forums and Discord chats when things go up and down, it's clearly not for them. This model was made for putting these things in the back room, putting them in the closet. Like that's what this is made for. It's not made to watch the market and try to nail down a high, right? That's not going to work. So I think the more we focus there, the more we miss the point.
Yeah, and like I'm not saying not to like. I buy boxes. Like I'm still a person who collects and quote unquote invests in trading cards. Like that's like I do that still. I'm not saying not to. I'm saying that the world it's changing. Like when I see something peak and then start dipping, I start wondering, did too much of this happen? Like, is there too much product out there that it's not just gonna kind of that idea that it just always kind of goes up over time? Like it's a lot of things are starting to trend downwards still. That's my point. That
was a fair assessment for a couple sets. I mean, the Magic printer going crazy, right, for some of these sets that were probably pretty decent sets, but were printed in crazy amounts. And we did see Amazon dumps for, and especially the collector product, right, where you're getting multiple waves, and which we've proven we're totally sufficient with one probably very large wave of collector product. You could probably make a case, Louis, where that's going to happen, right? Something's going to spike, and then everyone's going to remember, oh yeah, I did buy 2 cases of that. It's in my closet. Let me list it now, and we'll see it go up and down because there's enough of it for that to happen over a long period of time. Mm-hmm. I think if you remove that variable and assume a semi-normal print cycle, I don't think you'll see that behavior.
Yeah, that's fair. It's interesting that to wonder, where do things go with the current market? Are we kind of at the point where people start buying it or not? We'll see.
Yeah.
I think the world's still in too much turmoil to be like, hey, you should start buying right now. Like,
That's the big factor, right? The last turnaround we had like Catalyst,
yeah,
Everything
like
is
events
up.
that made it happen.
Like, I mean, things are going up again now. Like that might not last a day. Everything might crash by the time this podcast airs tomorrow.
That would be
5 hours.
brutal. Be
But like, ETH is up almost 100%, more than 100%. Since from its lows of I think last year. Gold is on a tear. Stocks are even up. I mean, like, things are this year. I mean, stocks are things are moving again. That doesn't mean it keeps moving. That means right now it's moving.
right.
Yes.
And like, I think when things are when things are going up and eyeballs are on cardboard will go up.
I think that's a great point. I think whenever we
All my
see
points are good.
when we see a sale like this and it brings things in the limelight, this is I would love to see, like, we're seeing Dungeons and Dragons in the movie theater right now. I just saw the Super Mario movie too. Spoiler alert.
Nope.
Spoiler
Don't
alert.
you do it. Don't you do it.
Mario rescues Princess Peach. So happens. It happens. But like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, I think will put eyes on that kind of geek culture type stuff. And like, I think that's a net positive. So
Call us geeks.
Shout out
man.
to
That's not
Watsy.
cool.
Get out to Watsy.
all right, let's move on.
Louis,
'cause
do you think they should do a Magic the Gathering movie? That'd be a great video for you.
I hate you so much. I'm done sharing my feelings with you. I'm only going to share
that
it
was
with Carol.
on your YouTube
Yeah, you
channel. What
kind of
feelings are you
shared
talking
that. You
about?
kind of shared that with the planet Earth.
Josh, you weren't there. You were putting your kid to bed or something. I shared with George that my video wasn't doing good, and George made fun of me.
That's
And
right.
now he's doing it on the podcast
It was a
again.
stupid topic.
Oh God. This is what he makes fun of me for every week. My video never does well. So
Yeah.
welcome to the club, Louis.
Let's talk about the list slot, because they just announced what's in the list slot.
Oh,
for
baby. This list is
March of the
banana
Machine, right?
pants. Yeah.
What's in the list slot for March of the Machine?
You got a sword. I'll pull it up. Hold on.
Is there? Oh, that's in the multiverse legends. All the
You got Sword of Feast and Famine, Blightsteel Colossus, Urza Saga, Phyrexian Crusader, Reign of Daggers. Did I already say Urza Saga? Yeah. Like
8th edition Balance of Power. These are such cool cards. What? I'm all in. I was out
Thank
on the
you.
list slot. I hated
you.
this conversation. I'm in on the list
wait,
slot.
do you not
I
like the list?
No, I don't mind the list. When it first came out, I got a bad taste in my mouth because the list was pointless. They have turned the list around.
They did. They did.
I don't like the list.
Why don't you like the list?
I don't like the list. So
Well,
let me say I like the idea of the list. Like I like the thought that they put reprints of cards like that in the list slot. I think that's fine. What I don't like about the list is that they choose things that were special to the set. Like, I'm all for you putting in a reprint of, I don't know, let's pull one of them up that's in here.
Pulse of the Grid?
Is this in here? Yeah. I think, is this in here? No, it's a multiverse one. I'm all for you putting in Ketra Triumph, which I think they're actually taking off, but don't put in the showcase version, the borderless version that was in. I'm all for you putting in Boseiju to make more Boseiju exist, but don't put in the borderless one that was from Kamigawa. Like, don't put in the ones that are special to the set of which they were from, because I think that's lame. Like, I think you should have some value in the people who open the set the first time. I'm all for printing things for players and that kind of thing, even though the list doesn't really solve that issue. Oftentimes the list card is more expensive than the regular version. But don't reprint the ones that were special in that set, in my opinion.
So as far as Project Booster Fun goes, like, this is the list slot here, especially done like this, is cool. I can agree with you there. And the argument where it adds needed reprints to the community. this is the worst way to ever add cards needed by the community to the pool. There's one in every how many boxes. Like, that's not what this is for. But it does create opening set boosters to be like a more fun experience. Like, that's cool. I can be down with that.
Say it loud, say it proud.
What?
Your microphone's been doing weird things, man.
Yeah, your microphone's been wild.
And it's funny because I'm the only one who has no microphone problems on this podcast.
I have no microphone problems at all.
You are a microphone problem.
You're a walking, standing, holding microphone problem.
I love the list. I adore the list.
Avenger of Zendikars in here?
I think they should do a worse list in the draft packs. That's how much I love the list. I want 3 tiers of lists. I want big bad lists and collectors, medium lists and set, and bad lists in the draft boxes. That's what I want. That's how much I love the list.
So do you get to draft? Do you get to play with that card if it's in the draft?
No,
pack?
it's like a token. It's like a token. Doesn't exist in draft.
You want serialized list cards is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
So
I love the list. I love the list. The list adds a ton of fun to the packs. It adds a lot of excitement. It adds that oh my god, am I gonna get this card I've been waiting for? People love the list.
You are opening up cards to hit the list slot card.
You're not. It's just a bonus. You're not. It's just it's like it's like a little sprinkles on your donut, dude.
I agree. I wish that the list.
All right, hold on. We gotta talk about that for a second. Nothing makes less sense than sprinkles on donuts.
Oh my gosh, I totally disagree with you.
Really? Are you a sprinkle fan?
Listen, those.
Do you just hate fun? Do you hate sunshine and rainbows and puppies too,
I
George?
will admit, I love the rainbow sprinkles because they match my shirt normally.
The Homer Simpson donuts at like gas stations that are like white cake with the pink and then the sprinkles have to be the best tasting things in the universe.
Do you not like the stuffed donuts? The filled donuts?
Oh, I love filled donuts, but like there's a line.
Most donuts are great.
Oh my god, you know what we should do? Is there such a thing
Boston cream donuts? Not great.
They're good. We could do a cookie dough filled donut. That'd be amazing.
They have that at
I've never heard of a cookie dough filled donut. That sounds amazing.
They have cookie dough. Yeah, they're not real cookie dough, but you know.
So life hack: go buy day old donuts, put in the microwave for 7 seconds. Got brand new donuts.
And then stuff with cookie dough.
Listen, day old donuts, really?
And then put them in the microwave for 7 seconds.
Wow.
Like, listen, not all of us have the Ivory Tower YouTube channel making all the money over here.
Somebody whose favorite restaurant.
Some of us didn't hit 9K subs.
I'm in no position to judge.
Day old donuts. Well,
some of us didn't just hit 9K subs. We got to eat 9.
Listen, I used to
9K
go.
donut man.
I should not share this on a podcast.
9K donuts.
I used to go to Dunkin' Donuts at 5 a.m. when they would dump the donuts from the night before to refill the donuts for the next day, and I would eat trash donuts.
Well, you found the title for the episode: trash donuts and lotuses.
How old do you think I was?
Yesterday.
30.
Yeah, yes, the day your birth. That's how you celebrate it.
That's how you celebrate your birthday.
I did that. I did that as a 24-year-old.
You're like, I just got to my 2 millionth view. I gotta get some.
I get a donut.
I, a married man, did that.
Oh, I believe that.
Well, I mean, only because she didn't find out.
I mean, yeah,
that follows.
She was always working.
She was working for garbage donuts.
I was playing Magic and searching for garbage.
She was bringing home the bacon. I was bringing home the 5 a.m. donuts.
No, she was in school. She was studying. And I was not playing Magic. I was probably playing Destiny. Okay, well, we're talking about the list slot. So I don't like the list slot when you pull a card that's from the list slot and it's completely stupid, and like you're like, why does this card exist in the list slot? It angers
You're like, what is this, a Pokemon pack? There's nothing of value.
Do you know what that was for me? I opened a list slot card. I saw a blue card back there, and it was a Mana War. And I was like, why? Yeah, why did I just get this card in this bag? It's a cool card. It was fun. It made me think about it, but I'm like, why did I get this card in this pack right now?
I also think, God, they should do so much cooler stuff with the slot. They should put in, close your ears, Josh. a list slot from a different list in collector boxes once a year.
What are you on?
Reserve list. They can put reserve list cards in the collector boxes once a year. In
That's
the list
100% what they're going to do in Commander Masters.
Amazing. Amazing.
Commander Masters
God,
will
can I hate
100%
that set
have.
more? Can I hate that set more?
It will have reserve list cards in the list slot.
Will they be Magic backed or will they be Magic 30 reserve list cards?
They will be
Magic 30. It'll be some. If they do it, it'll be something else. Is my guess.
That will happen.
That'd be great.
That's why the set boxes are so expensive. And people will eat that up. There will be like 10 people who complain about it.
5 a.m. donuts, dude, going down.
I think like the list slot should be way harder to pull, and they should have better cards.
No.
Stop making things. No.
Like
Serialized cards being hard to pull is fine. List slot cards should be all the time.
But like, I don't want to pull a list slot card and then have to be like, what the hell do I do with it? It's
what
worthless.
do you have to do with all your other calf? You do nothing with it. You donate to the store.
Now I have to like find a way to sort it. Like I have to be like, I can't.
Did you just shill for a store donation, George? You donated to the store.
Do not donate your calf to me. I have enough. I have enough of every game.
Like you can't put it with the brothers. Like if you pull Brothers War list slot, you can't leave it with your Brothers War bulk. You now have to figure out what else to do. The
list slot's been around since Zendikar Rising. You have a list slot box at this point, my friend.
I don't have any.
Okay, well that's a failure on your part.
Lauren, where are you? Lauren,
I have 80,000 cards stacked in 5,000 row boxes. People come in and are like, "Hey, can I look through your bulk?" I'm like, "Sure, pick a box." And they're like,
"Stop
well,
buying this guy birthday presents."
I have no clue. No clue what's in it. People who sort bulk need, I don't know, man.
A hug.
You need a hug. You need a day-old donut.
I love the list. I wish there was more list. I don't mind the inexpensive cards in the list. I think that's fun. I wish they did more old worthless cards in the list. That's my wish.
Okay.
Borborygmos is in here?
Like this is the list for this set looks amazing. I think they're nailing the list. That's my I think they're nailing
this list set does look hype. There's Eidolon. Oh my gosh, this is cool.
You are getting excited for the list slot.
I am. I'm looking at the list of the list slot.
Baffling to me. You're baffling.
God. Sorry.
You guys are excited about a game I carry. What idiots.
This list slot looks dumb.
I just don't understand how
I wish that the list slot didn't exist.
I get it. I get it. I want
these are cards people want.
They're not. Nobody wants Avenger of Zendikar. Everybody has 100 Avenger of Zendikar.
Nobody wants Sword of Feast and Famine.
Sure.
Blade Steel Colossus.
Yeah.
Right? Nope. It's a $40 card. Reign of Daggers.
No one wants Reign of Daggers.
Urza Saga. Force of Vigor.
Nobody wants half the cards they open from a pack.
I know, but the list should be something special. It should be exciting to pull. This is the same thing the same thing I feel about the Legends cards in Dominaria United. Like it's not that cool when you pull the card and it's like nobody wants it. It's like nobody's ever used the card. It's always been a trash card. That's not fun and exciting. It's kind of a feel bad.
Rage literally kicked off a giant modern controversy because it was played all the time.
Yeah,
like what do you mean?
Nobody knows that. You're the only person in the universe who knows about modern controversy.
So what cards are in the list slot? Just popular commanders?
Lotus.
Is it just popular commanders in the list slot then at this point? That's what you're advocating for.
Lotus, Jeweled Lotus, Lotus Proofs.
Like it's okay to get other people excited about things. Eidolon of the Great Revel. That card is played all over the place.
Okay.
God.
There's 300 cards in the list slot. You're pulling out 5 of them. My point is make the list slot 10 cards. And make it harder to pull. Make it easier to pull those 10 cards. I don't care, but don't make 300 cards that have no rhyme or reason, no organization, no concise reason for them to exist.
Here's what I think they should do. They should guarantee you 1 fire list card per box.
Like that would be neat. And yes, the
I'd be
theme
all
being
about
on
that.
more on brand would be great. And 300 cards is probably too many, but there's some fun stuff in here. I guess it's just a consumer product.
Okay, that makes
It's
sense.
just-
Never mind. You win,
It's just
Josh.
a,
Good point.
it's just a
Good point.
consumer product.
You know
I
what I
guess.
really like that they're doing that's not on the list, but they should incorporate this to the list. With the secret
Trainer.
layers right now, you're getting those slivers that are borderless slivers, and it's the first time you can ever get those slivers ever in borderless treatments. They should take the cards that are on the list, they should reduce the number of cards, and they should put borderless treatment cards that are unique and special for the list slot, rather than just like paying some intern to put the little planeswalker symbol on the bottom of the card and throwing it in like it's special.
First of all,
not.
keep our interns employed. Okay.
Like, it's not that special. Like they are just cutting corners to be able to say that this card is in there, and even though you're never going to pull it.
I guess I'm lame. I like getting the card in the original treatment. It makes me think back to the card. It makes me smile when I see it. That's it.
I love the old border.
Yeah,
Really
it's just
raw.
whatever the card came out in that treatment. It makes me think of when I
Absolutely.
opened that card or when I played that card before.
want
That's the way I
more-
feel about it.
I want more old worthless cards in my boxes.
You're
I'm
allowed to
100%
feel.
down for that.
You're allowed to feel that way, Joe.
Well, Aftermath George will not be for you then, because there are much fewer and probably far more worthless cards in your boxes.
All right, let's talk about your mom, and then let's talk about other games. Final thoughts on March of the Machine. So next week is pre-release week. If you're in the Taze Valley area, come on to the 14th. Come to our pre-release and hang out and have some fun. That would be fun.
We'll
You can
have
hear
a
Louis talk on
blast
Magic.
playing Magic.
I'm excited for the set. I think the set looks really, really fun. Like this set, like I think they've done not a good enough job at marketing this set, because the set looks really good.
What do you like about the set?
Listen, you are criticizing what I'm stating based on me saying that the market is rejecting the set already in our private messages, and like that's just, I don't know what you guys want from me. It's just like a fact.
What do you like about the set? That's what I want to know.
I like about the set the thematic nature of like everyone coming together and battling. Like it feels like this set feels like a Marvel movie to me. I think that's really. I think the flavor
You
of
are
the
all
set,
about those movies today. That has been my takeaway so far.
the
You
flavor of the set is really, really cool, and I think that goes a long way. And I think that the it's not the sieges, the
battle mechanic for the
Being-
sieges, yeah.
being in every single draft pack is going
One
to
in
be
a pack.
is going to be a really, really cool limited experience. I'm really excited to play that.
I think it's good. It's gonna add an interesting gameplay wrinkle in limited for sure. Like that's gonna shake up the way people play limited. I gotta take a look at the full set. I haven't had a chance to yet. And if all the bombs are sieges, that's gonna make playing limited really interesting, right? It's more preventing your opponent from getting their bomb, trying to race to yours, stuff like that. That could be fun.
I heard somebody talking about with the battles to judge them based on their enter the battlefield effect rather than on like the
Yep.
back side of the card, because you're getting value out of them. And I think like that kind of stuff is really good. I also think this set has a ton, and Josh is going to hate this. This set has a ton of commander like staple potentials, like cards that are really, really good and really, really cool to build around. And that excites me. Like I used to pick a card from every single set and build a commander around it. Like I used to build a new commander deck every single set release. Now I would have to do that like every 3 days. So there's no way for me to keep up with that. So, but
like
this
8
set,
weeks since the last set.
this set,
It's been a long time.
This set, I will pop in and do that.
Pre-orders
Don't
are
put
strong
words in
for
my
it.
mouth. I don't hate that.
You do hate that.
I don't. I love that our standard sets are used to force feed commander players cards that they must play instead of letting them have any kind of creativity. Like I think that's perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
Sorry. I think that's great.
Oh, I forgot all about Louis Eeyore. I forgot all about Louis Eeyore. The best. The best.
I'm gonna find 2 new people to do a podcast with.
Great. Eeyore and Seth Rogen.
You don't
My
know
two
2 more
co-hosts.
people.
Josh, enjoy talking about NFTs with George on your guys' podcast.
Bone Zone, here we come, baby.
I mean, pre-orders seem very strong for this set. People seem pretty hyped about it.
Okay, where does this rank in the last 3 sets with you guys in terms of what will sell and where the market will be? Give me your your hot takes for you got Phyrexia, All Will Be One, Brothers War, and Dominaria United. Does this come out stronger or lighter than those 3 sets?
You want to
Stronger
take this
than
one away,
everything
George?
but Phyrexia.
I was the opposite take. This perfect. I don't understand. Phyrexia is all about. It's got to be all about flavor, right? That's
Phyrexia's
why
on
that set
fire.
does so well. I know. That's why it does so well. Is all about
Phyrexia,
flavor.
I have sold an offensive amount of Phyrexia.
Phyrexia's doing really good.
Compared it to like the last Pokemon set, which is not doing so hot, Phyrexia has done amazingly well.
We talked about this. It's a consumer set. It's doing fine. It's
never
for
mind,
the
it's doing
people.
great. Never mind. That's a good
It's a
point.
set for the people.
That's not what I said, and nobody who is listening to this podcast will know that because
What are you
you
talking
two bozos made us delete the whole segment.
It's not an inside joke.
No,
It's for the people. Pokemon, this set is for the people. It's a good thing.
Oh my god!
I agree with you, Josh. That's a great take.
So I think this set has all the flavor of Phyrexia, like what Louis said, and serialized cards and all the collectability and chase.
I
is
can't
it-
give the serialized cards? That's actually a
Yeah,
really good
is it
call.
better? Is it going to be better than Phyrexia? What? I'm giving it a shot. It's got an ounce.
No, it won't be another rainy set.
All right, Louis, tell us why this is going to be the worst set of the year.
This is going to be the best-selling Magic the Gathering set of all time. I think it is completely great
You broke 'em.
that
no.
they are putting out another set like 3 weeks later. That's basically what could have been in this set, and that they're separating out to 2 different things. And I don't think that will have any
I think
effect on the consumer.
Aftermath could be a rough release.
I don't think that will have any.
I think Aftermath could be a rough release.
Yeah, so I
That
think
could go poorly.
my
that
take on,
could go poorly.
my take on this set is that this is probably the smartest set to buy singles for of the whole year. Like I think if you're gonna pick a set, to not open and to just buy singles for, this is probably the set of the year for it.
More than Commander Masters?
No, I don't think you should buy any Commander Masters. You should buy Commander Masters cards
Oh
when
God,
they
I'm having PTSD from the Magic 30th. Continue. I'm sorry. I just had a flashback.
You should buy Commander Master singles when they announce the cards that are being reprinted. You should buy the tank of the price of the cards when, if you're looking for, let's use Cyclonic Rift, like a card that
Sure.
will probably be in there, and they announce that Cyclonic Rift is being printed at Rare. You should buy Cyclonic Rift on that announcement when all the stores immediately put up all their Cyclonic Rifts that are sitting in their cases, and everyone panic sells. Like that's where you, in my opinion, you buy those singles. You don't necessarily wait till the sets are opened and the product gets absorbed or whatever. But March of the Machine, I think, is going to be one of those ones where if you don't play standard, if you don't play
And if you do, you're on Arena.
if you don't play Pioneer, you basically buy the singles that you need for the set, because like there's so much coming out. Like there's so much product coming out with the 2 sets in one.
So
That's my
what?
opinion.
Okay. What set? What
I like how you
standard
went
release?
out of your
not-
way to not answer the question that you asked, by the way, Louis. I'm very proud of
Oh,
you.
that you didn't. Okay, you guys just told me. You guys just criticized me for saying it was going to be poopy, and I didn't say that it was going to be poopy.
Good use of poopy.
Like I think that this
So
set
out of those
is-
sets, where will it rank?
third, better than Dominaria United, because like you could basically squeeze out a turd and it would be better than Dominaria United.
But my Louis free box, I needed to pump.
Like you could do about anything and it would be better than Dominaria United.
I need my box to pump. Stop.
I think Brothers War has the best of the flavor of all the sets. There's a really great comment on my channel this week that they should have made Brothers War a animated short. Like the whole, like just that storyline would have made a really good Netflix
Should have
series.
made it a movie.
I think Brothers War will still be the best set in this kind of window in history. Phyrexia All Will Be One, I think is.
It's one I don't get, but I'm constantly prove wrong.
Tank. It is a tank.
I'm constantly prove wrong. I don't get it, and it's
Have-
constantly crushing.
I
have you-
still sell a ton of Phyrexia.
Yeah, I mean it is. Like, listen,
Yeah.
I just reordered more collector boxes.
I think
So good.
I think long term though, like Brothers War will be seen as the iconic set of this kind of era. No,
Why is that, Louis?
not
that
not
actually
serialized. I think because
why.
of the
No, you're
I think
wrong.
the flavor.
That's absolutely why.
Well, then I mean, in that case, you've got March of the Machines going to have serialized cards, so why not?
It won't be
this?
the first though. The first one for serialized cards will be important.
Oh man, the problem is there's so much in the set. Like I forgot the Multiverse Legends are in the set.
And those are the serialized cards. Yeah.
I might be wrong. That might be better than Brothers War. This might be the best set of the year.
This
No, I'm not saying it. Never mind. I'm out. I thought we were wrong about
You
this.
two might have just flopped me. I think you just flipped me. I'm in, baby. Best set of the year. I'm all in. March of the Machine will.
Who wants my allocation?
But like this is
I'm broke.
this is
I have no
this
money.
might be this lays credence to what George said in the first part of the podcast, right? The sets have been bangers. If you would have told me in 2023 standard sets were going to be bangers coming off of the 2022 crap we dealt with, I would have told you were full of it. There's no way. And it has turned, it's great. It's turned around. Standard sets this year have been great, dude.
Do we know anything about Aftermath? Like what cards are in it? Have we seen?
I don't think that'll affect this release at all. Now, the Aftermath release could be a sinking ship that we're all just waiting to watch
My
go down.
fear with maybe it's just the same name thing.
We know
but,
it's not going to be reprints of this set. We know that. It's going to be a unique set.
My fear is that they just held back things that should have been in the set, like powerful cards, and are putting it in Aftermath.
There's a serialized Ragafan. They didn't hold that much back. There's some good stuff in here.
Yeah,
That card's not have been reprinted.
My MH2 is so
MH2 is it's not a real. Oh, it is kind of though because it's in that legend slot. Yeah,
Fetch lands are going to be reprinted this year again, and fetch lands,
but not those.
It'll be the other fetches.
Not those
Fetch
fetch lands.
Fetch
Allied
lands
fetch
will be like
lands, dude.
$3.
No, it'll be the other fetches.
I hate selling fetch lands for $10. It makes my heart hurt.
Why? I think it's great. You can sell fetch lands for $10. You can sell super special fetch lands for $30. Like it's
so like
it's a great consumer set.
It's just, for me, it's just like a mental block because I remember buying $50 fetch lands and being like, and like it. I'm not. Listen, I'm all for it being more accessible. I think it needs to be more accessible than I never played Modern because it was too expensive. But like the thought of when I list those $10 cards, I'm just like, what is happening? It's sad.
Like I am relatively anxious about Aftermath. I'm not anxious about the set.
Your Aftermath angst, I think, is fair, well placed, and shared. Shared with this corner of the podcast.
I am very anxious about Aftermath.
I remember what
I went the lightest I think I've ever gone on a Magic set for Aftermath.
I don't even remember what I ordered for Aftermath.
I think it's like, they got like one box of each and they can split it amongst each of them. So here you go. Here's your pack. Get out.
Here's your 5-card Aftermath pack.
There's just so much product right now, guys. Like that's right.
What are you talking about? There hasn't been this is the longest there's been a set since you've done any TCG content.
I am actively trying to find things to talk about on YouTube. Give me more product, please.
Oh, I haven't put in for any Aftermath yet. I have 1 day to do it. It's due tomorrow. Should I put in for none?
Running a store is like being a bad student. I do my homework. It's due tomorrow. Oh God.
Should I put in for none if you guys are so negative on it? Oh, like, this is what, like we have to put in for this product that we know literally nothing about. Zero.
We've had this conversation.
We've had this conversation.
It's not. All right. Can we talk about other things? Let's talk about Genesis.
I don't want that. Somebody else will make me more sad.
Let's cheer it up.
That one's sad. That one's more sad.
Okay. So, Genesis. So let's be more specific here. Sid said that he's closing Genesis.
Let's talk about what Genesis was first, because there may be people.
It was a new TCG. It was an indie TCG. It
wasn't that new though. This is Genesis was 7 years. 7 years old. We sold Genesis in the pandemic to some patrons. We had a Genesis bundle that was really cool.
The great play mat.
Yeah, pizza play mat. And we have like in the Kitchen Table TCG Discord, there's a group of probably 10 people who really took to it and really enjoy playing Genesis. So it's really sad. But
it's also very weird. Like they had a set planned soon.
Invasion.
They had just given an update that they were looking for distributors. They went on a podcast like a week before and said like their only problem is that they needed a distributor. Then like there was just like it seemed like the staff was kind of unaware that this, like at least some of the staff seemed unaware that this message was going out that they were closing. I don't want to say too much about it right now because I think there's still a lot of information coming out. I will have fuller thoughts on it as I kind of wrap my head around it. I will say this: it bummed me out more than I expected.
Yeah.
I have said publicly that it is one of the very few TCGs I actively enjoyed playing. I liked Genesis a lot. I still like Genesis a lot. There's a team of people trying to keep it going.
This is where I hope this lands. This
is going to be up to one person. Let me be very clear here. Asid needs to sell the rights to this game to somebody who wants to keep this game going.
Yeah.
I won't say all of my thoughts on this right now because I think it's too raw. I am candidly hurt by how some of this stuff has progressed and some of the stuff I'm learning. But like this can be turned around if it's sold to the right people.
Mm-hmm.
I will publicly say that I've offered to purchase the game. I want to make this very clear. I don't care if he goes with me. I don't care if he doesn't go with me. He should sell this to somebody who wants to keep the game going.
Yeah. And if not, then the community, I hope the community just is able to keep the community's deep. Like people who play Genesis, that's like what they play. They're really deep in it. It's not wide by any stretch of the imagination, but like I think it's really important when things like this happen that you remember that one of the best things about TCGs, in my opinion, is you can't shut the server down. Like when a video game dies, when World of Warcraft finally meets its end, and they
not StarCraft 2, baby, we'll live forever.
they shut the servers down, and this happens to some. It's never gonna happen to World of Warcraft, but they shut the servers down to your favorite online game or whatever. You just can't, and you can't go back to it. But with TCGs, you still have the cards, you still have the friends, you still have the family, you still have the people that you play with. And though you may not get new sets, and hopefully we get the new end, but you can still enjoy the hobby with what you have. And I think that's a really, really big win for the TCG industry, in my opinion. But
so it's funny, like a lot of people reached out to me, and like it's amazing how many of my friends, my real friends, I met through Genesis. Joe G. I'm friends with Joe. Jordan. Jordan's a dear friend of mine. Connor, Ben, Jeff. I mean, like these are I'm gonna forget people who I feel bad. Will, like these are people who I actively care about, real life care about, not BS care about. And like I met them through this game, and like I'll be honest, like it really affected me way more than I expected. I hope Asid does what's right and sells this to somebody who wants to keep this going. I know me and him have had some disagreements publicly. We have a different take on TCGs, but my heart does break for Joey on this. He seems to have been caught off guard by this as well. And I did not always agree with how he wanted to grow the game, but I never doubted that he wanted to, and he worked very hard for that goal. So I think, my heart goes out to Joey as well. This sucks, and I don't understand how this just like happened.
Yeah, I mean, like it's hard to understand how it just happened, but this is a rude awakening maybe for the alternative TCG industry of like what Why are you looking
go ahead.
at
Here's
it?
my takeaway.
But like
Here's my
this
takeaway.
can happen. This will happen to almost like this happens. Like card games die, and in history there's been like a few ones that have lasted.
There's been three or four that maybe Weiss. There's been four that haven't died. You know.
So like just remember that. This is why it's like we say all the time. I mean, all three of us, George claims he doesn't, but I don't know, your pictures of your warehouse say differently. We all buy cardboard and collect it and invest in it and whatever, but we also all say you shouldn't do this. This is why you shouldn't do this, because anytime you are involved in an alternative card game that's not Pokemon and Magic, in my opinion, and Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess, has enough of a background, it could go away instantly.
It's also very weak. They just got a ton of money from the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, I don't want to listen.
Like, I don't know any of the behind the scenes of any of that crap. I feel bad for the people who bought product.
People I mentioned.
Yeah, like I feel that sucks, but like this is where it's like I hope that the communities can still. And we've seen this in the Star Wars TCG. Like there's still an active community. They build sets. They do print and plays.
Dragon Ball Z is the same way. They have the community created cards and they curate sets between them.
I'm rooting for the community. I've offered my help to them as well. If they need help. This sucks. They shouldn't. I don't know what happened. I hope we find out more. I hope, more important than anything, I hope that they do what's right for the TCG and not anything else, and they get it to the people who want to continue it.
I think I feel too and someone we haven't. I mean, you mentioned a couple people, individually by name, but the people who were working on the project, anyone who had this, where
Alex is a great guy.
might have been their job, and it's like all of a sudden it's Damian. Okay. What do I do next? Where do I go? Right, stuff like that. We talk about is. Louis, you and I have this conversation off camera all the time. And as far as content goes, in the world sphere of people watching videos on the internet, trading card game content is not that big. And the trading card game industry is also not that. So when something like this disappears, those people have to then go and try to find a home and try to find a place. Not only the community that play, but the employees and people who work on the project. So this is never, I don't care if the one thing I hate about times like this is it's always the one TCG mentality. And if you don't play my TCG, your TCG sucks. And when your dies, I get to claim victory. Like that's a horrible attitude to have. And I think we need to remember there are people and human beings behind these things.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Moving on. Now that we've bummed it out, worse than Magic content.
Oh no.
What am I going to talk about on my channel?
All right, let's talk.
Gosh, be careful. It's a very tough time to be a Magic the Gathering creator.
Oh my gosh.
It is right now. I haven't had a set in 8 weeks. What am I going to track market data about?
I'm going to put out a public statement here. I would love for another person to talk to on the phone throughout the day, because these two bozos are not only discouraging, but then use it against me on the podcast.
Wait, you said this last week on the podcast, Boo Boo. That was the reference. Josh is hurt because Josh was very encouraging today.
We tease each other a lot. Just want you to remember that you are doing well. You inspire other creators and you're doing it on your terms. It's inspiring to watch. Keep going. That is a text I sent you. That is a text I sent you this morning.
All right, let's talk about Cryptic. Wave 2 is out. We're starting to see the last week we talked about, it seemed like it was pretty well absorbed, and this week we're seeing some boxes floating on the market. So interesting to see that kind of stuff.
Listen, that's pretty normal.
I am baffled at the sales for single cards compared to Kickstarter. And this was something I was actually worried about as somebody who might own a considerable amount of Kickstarter cards. But the market seems to be looking at Wave 2 with equal or more value as it's looking at Kickstarter
Well,
from
listen.
some of the higher end like singles.
The higher end cards are way harder to pull.
Yeah.
Way harder to pull.
Yep.
This is not a great consumer set for you, Louis. Way harder to pull from Wave 2 than Kickstarter.
Okay, no, now we're doing it because I gave you bozos both a pass, and you refused to let me talk about Pokemon. But now you two have brought it up a total of 3 times, I think.
You
So,
hold on. You're the only one to say. You're the only one to say
Way more than
Pokemon
that.
so far, and yes, it's been way more.
It's been way more than 3 times.
Yeah.
So next
Way
week
more.
we're only talking about Pokemon. That's the deal.
Oh no, another trainer. got
Welcome to
pulled.
Kitchen Table TCG. I like Charizard.
I like Dragonite. Dragonite's my favorite Pokemon.
Dragonite's a good Pokemon.
I think like the box topper. I also like the box topper look better. From
And
Wave
some
2.
like you pull a Pluto box topper, that thing looks way better than
You
Kickstarter.
pull any box
No,
topper, it
some-
looks better.
some of the-
Objectively.
No, some of the green doesn't match.
What?
That's not how art works. It looks
Absolutely.
better
There's
objectively.
better or worse art. For example, the Brassman Will in this set is better than the Brassman Will in the last set. Sorry, Christopher Rush. Go sign another slab. This one looks better.
Can't.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Wild.
So I agree with you to some degree.
About Christopher Rush?
No, about
I was like, wow, that was a hot take for you to agree with. I'm in.
I agree with you to some degree that some of the cards look better. I'm just surprised that I think that this is an initial wave of shock. And I think that it'll be interesting to see where the values are after people pick up. Because this has the Pokemon. I hate you both. I hate you guys so much. This has
Nobody said a word. Keep going.
this has the Pokemon effect where like people who collect Rosa,
100%.
shout out to Rayquaza TCG, people who collect Rosa want to pick up this early to get an early grade to get to finish their set before whatever happens to it, and so they're willing to pay more money right now for that card on release to get it in their hands. It'll be interesting to see once people pick up the singles they want, once they have their citizens that they like, and once they have their wave 2, it'll be interesting to see the back end of it. And this is honestly my biggest concern for Cryptic and my biggest concern for wave 2. If wave 2 becomes a product that is for the consumer that already exists for Cryptic, it is not fulfilling the goals of what wave 2 should be. If stores are only buying this product because it's an easy percentage flip and the market is there for people to buy it and they're not actually building a community locally, then it's not going to work. Like this is, if we're not seeing the community grow wider and it's only growing deeper, it's just not doing what wave 2 needs to do. And so that's my fear for this, is that if it's just the same people, it's not a win. So I'd like to see some things, and this is where I hope like the Van Tour, incorporates more. I think this is the goal of the Van Tour, is to grow the thing wider. And that's where I hope the win comes from. But
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, like, I think Wave 2 is doing what it needs to do. I think some of the cards are too hard to pull. Like, that's my...
what
one
is too hard to pull?
You get one foil per
But
box. That is the good one.
but there are so many from Kickstarter still. The value of those cards is still low because there's still so many from Kickstarter. If the game doesn't grow wider, it doesn't matter. The cards that are
Wait, why would making cards easier to pull not make the community wider?
because the current sets, Kickstarter and Wave 2 non-haulers or whatever, are not being absorbed by the current community. Like there is still
true though.
It's pretty true. If you put up a bunch of a Kickstarter foil, the Kickstarter foils are still being absorbed by the current community.
So okay.
So I don't think it matters if Wave 2 foils are hard to pull.
I think it does. I think like I'm always team easy pulls.
It does. I
love
think
this
it would
less- I love this
dissuade.
less Pokemon
It would
set.
dissuade box opening, right? It would dissuade people from cracking packs.
Right. Like I'm team more hits better.
the people who are cracking packs aren't really cracking it to hit a foil noble rare. That's not the
Sure.
That's not the
I mean-
pull. The pull in this set in wave 2 is the box toppers and the frogman and the cryptic text. That's the goal of
In the
opening
serialized cards.
in the serialized breastman will. Yeah. Like that's the pull.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I get pretty hyped when I pull the foil noble. I pull a foil brassman. I love it.
I didn't pull a foil brassman. I
don't care why
people all the time.
I don't care why
I
people
love my
open
foil
packs.
Brassman.
not cranky all the time. I'm just the whole point I'm trying to make is that wave 2 needs to be reaching new stores and getting people newly excited, not people just like
Yeah. And I crypticpreorders.com is still live if people short haven't gotten it yet. I think that's fair. And listen, like a lot of this comes down to distribution and Tanner, right? Like Tanner's gonna hit the pavement. Southern needs to do their job and pump the boxes for Tanner. Cryptic Preorders, Cardio needs to hit up stores and pump the boxes there. I mean, like this comes down to like, it's a team effort.
I'm not saying that's not happening for the record.
I agree. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm saying
with you.
I fear that if wave 2 become, and listen, I'm biased. I have a lot of Kickstarters. I'll just be straight up about that. But if wave 2 becomes equal to Kickstarter in terms of like chases and value of singles and that kind of thing, if wave 2 becomes equal to Kickstarter, then like it's going to just stay within the current community, and I think that it needs to be in distribution still. It needs to be available.
Wait, are you talking about boxes or singles?
I don't know, boxes. I think.
Well, boxes are available for relatively cheap on the secondary right now,
right?
And they're available at crypticpreorders.com. I think even Southern.
And that needs to continue. I guess my point is I'm afraid that if singles prices continue to equal the price of Kickstarter prices, then will boxes come to Kickstarter price?
Can I share a thought on that then?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if we have these two, we have wave 2 and we have Kickstarter.
But the math doesn't math, because like if the prices equal Kickstarter, but there's way less hits per box, the box will still be worth way less.
I think there's different hits. Like you have the serialized brassmans, you have the frogs.
The serialized brassman.
Yes, you are. People are, George. You're wrong about that. Like that is the driving factor of people opening packs. Just like the driving factor for a lot of people was opening riddle cards. You have an increased number of.
There's a way better shot at that. Like if you told me you're opening a case for a riddle card, I would be like, yeah, it makes sense to me. If you're like, I'm opening a case for a frog or for a serialized card, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? Like, who hurt you, child? Like, are you Louis? Are you that bad at math? I mean, like,
yeah.
Like to me, like opening a box of a real, maybe not Mensa level, but like you're not crazy. If you're like, I'm opening a box, if I get the frog, like, well,
I want to open the frog so bad.
Yeah, I mean, like you're doing Louis math. That makes sense to me. I mean, like, so like, even if the card values equal Kickstarter values for the singles, the box would still be worth way less because the hits are way rarer. You get literally half as many of the box toppers. You get one foil green versus what?
Noble green.
Yeah, versus 6, 7.
A lot. Listen, one time I opened 6 Dukraco Noble.
Yeah. I mean, like, so like, like the boxes would still be worth way less. Continue, guys. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead, Josh. The math wasn't mathing.
No, I'm just curious. You've presented this world where your Kickstarter print and run in box or single, because it seemed like we were waffling between which we wanted to talk about, and that starts to become equivalent to the Kickstarter parallel, right? Box or single. I think one of two things happens there. I think you either have a self-correcting market then where someone goes, okay, well, as a community, we decide we value one of these more than the other, or we just value them the same. And, some things are weird like that. Some TCG communities are weird. They don't care. They value them the same. Or the community just hasn't gotten large enough yet to differentiate between the two. So you could be looking at one of those two scenarios there, couldn't you?
I also think I'm not as crazy as YouTube bozos want me to believe, and like a lot of people prefer the brass man will art in this set.
I wasn't saying you were crazy. I was just trying to make a point.
Like, you're making a good point, Josh.
Thank you.
Like, Japanese first edition Pokemon, there are sets of Japanese first edition Pokemon where the unlimited cards are worth more than the first edition because they printed more first edition than unlimited. And like that could be a scenario that we see in Cryptic, I guess.
And then, like, for whatever reason, like whatever event you want to put in that qualifier, right? For some reason, that community could decide we just like this more. They 100% could. But also, if it never changes, it could just be, listen, the community is not deep enough to differentiate yet. People are buying cards and playing games, and that's fine.
Yeah. Cool. Pokemon. All right, moving on.
Please.
Tell me about Lorcana, George. You're
I'm hyped. We found Maurice today. Maurice came out today. I am. You know what? I will say this. I always forget how many amazing IPs Disney has. This is Beauty and the Beast.
I was gonna say, can you tell me who this is? Because I don't know.
What? This is Belle's father. What's wrong with you?
I don't watch chick flicks, and Beauty and the Beast is a chick flick. So
you're truly a man
for the week. That's great.
Truly a man amongst men. Look at you go.
Like, why would I know Beauty and the Beast more?
Because you have two small children.
Yeah. My wife watched the new Beauty and the Beast movie with my daughter. I was like, what are you showing her right now? Like, she's 3 years old. This is terrifying.
I have seen what you watched with your 3-year-old, and that is the best thing that they have ever seen.
Okay, so
I
have been on the phone with you when you have watched things with your daughter.
Listen, and I South Park and Rick and Morty are cartoons.
So spoiler time. My brother, who's my daughter's godfather, came over and we were sitting on my lap. We were playing videos together. My brother is my
your
daughter's
brother was
godfather.
Sitting on your lap and watching.
Got it. Okay, brother's on your lap. Continue.
Yes, and we were playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, and then a person got torn in half, and I picked up my baby who couldn't even see the TV yet, couldn't see the, and I turned her around because I was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be looking at that happening.
Louis just goes from South Park.
Mine was way worse.
Yeah, like I can't watch it with my 3-year-old anymore because she's starting to repeat words and So like that one doesn't.
You got to start watching your language a little bit, boss.
No. My wife needs to start watching her language.
I am pumped for the Beauty and the Beast deck. I'm all in.
Wait, is this a deck? This is not just.
We don't know. We don't know. But I can tell you right now, if there's a Beauty and the Beast deck, I want it. I also want the Lion King deck.
Yeah, you just lay claim to every deck. It seems like every week.
You know what? Okay, you ready for this? I like Mickey. Don't love Mickey.
That's fair.
Yeah, like that's all.
Mickey's overrated.
Yeah, Mickey was your more your generation than mine and Louis. Like it's the old people like Mickey.
But like kids nowadays love Mickey. Like Mickey's
really. It's Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Has Mickey come back?
Mouse Clubhouse.
Oh
come
yeah,
inside,
it's me.
Oh,
my nephew
used to like come home from school. I'd sit down right in front of the TV. I'd watch
Black
the
and
Mickey
White
Mouse Clubhouse, and I'd watch Dude Ranch. I think it's called Hey Dude. That was my jam. God, Hey Dude should come out with the TCG as well. Now that I think about it,
I think you're showing your age.
Yeah, these are. Like I said, I came home from school and did that. Hey Dude was awesome.
Both ways in the snow.
I
think it was called Hey Dude.
Have an announcement to make about Lorcana.
Dude,
you were wrong.
I was wrong.
Of course you were wrong.
I was wrong. So 2 things. We also learned that they basically it was a rumor that the delay was because they printed more boxes.
It was right. Hey dude. Oh my god, it was only up for 2 years.
Was this
Not
rumor true, George? That the delay, it was supposed to come out earlier, but they delayed because they're printing more boxes.
That's been the rumor. I have no idea if it's true or not. I will not speculate.
Next week, tune in for Banned from Lorcana.
No.
When you get
No.
banned from Lorcana, if you got banned from Lorcana, I would be the happiest person ever.
I'd
Like,
be so miserable.
That would
I wouldn't.
make
I'd
me-
be sad for you, George.
No. Listen, no.
I'd be happy for Louis, but I'd be sad for you.
So this is where I feel like maybe I become right. If they are printing, this is my concern about Ravensburg, is if they just print to the demand. You've said this too. The best number of boxes to print is one less than is needed. And like, if they pause the print run, or if they pause the release in order to print more boxes, this is the fear I have for Lorcana. Now, listen, that being said, I have two people locally who are both all in and are like, hey, I want to champion Lorcana for you. So like, that's pretty cool. And definitely more to the,
How many are you trying to order?
I haven't put my order in yet.
Bigger deal. Are they going to commit to buying the 1 pack a week, which is standard at GameGrove.gg?
That's a good question. Thank you, Josh.
Oh my gosh, we should set up a recurring payment for people who watch the podcast where they buy 1 pack a week from me.
Listen, hold on. We're happy you're here. We're not going to charge you for this experience.
This
also,
is not worth it. This is not a good value.
There's a reason this isn't behind a
Here's my
paywall.
thoughts on that. If they overprint, the price of the singles will go down. Then it's a great consumer product.
It's just facts. Big facts.
All right.
It's really a win-win.
Factual.
You will never live that one down.
That was a great take.
That was
a great take. Your whole TCG mantra is done.
I think, listen, I think there will be enough boxes. But I will remind everybody there will also be more than one. There's allowed to be more than one wave.
There will be more than one wave. It feels like.
So, I won't speculate.
Feels like.
I
will.
So,
I don't have a start. Ban me.
Yeah, that's fair. So, again, I would not pay over MSRP for this right now. I'm alone apparently paying. Everybody else is like chomping at the bit to pay way over MSRP.
No, I would not pay over MSRP.
No,
I would just wait till it comes out and buy it at your local game store. So
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's the game plan. It's like I would buy at MSRP at my game store.
Cool. Agreed.
Great
All
take.
right. Last topic. Metazoo Native. I thought we were going to start this off, and I'm going to open up a sample pack that I just got in the mail today.
That's what you've been clicking.
Yeah, I've been setting up. Now we're gonna do this live. Oh, wrong button.
Oh my god!
Oh, wrong button.
Elgato!
Hey, there we go. Oh, it's
prettier.
backwards. Hold on, let me flip it over on the camera.
Sponsored by Elgato.
Well,
No, it's
I
upside
want it
down.
to be backwards, but it's gonna be backwards for you guys. But rotate 180. Oh, look at that! All right, so native spoiler. I would have sent you guys.
Nothing changed for us.
Well, for you guys, it hasn't, but for me, for the camera, it did. It's not about you.
So what? Hold on. What are we opening? Is this just a pack?
sample
Is it
pack.
It's a sample pack.
It's a spoiler pack.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's not a sample pack, it's a spoiler pack. So native, this has, I guess it's native themed.
If you did not get one of the new auras, we should riot.
Dual land. One in every case.
Ooh. A white bison. Let's go.
Open another one. Keep opening until we get the aura.
Dual land.
Oh, it does 0? What is its ability there?
You know,
all
we
beasties
can't read
recover,
it all,
all
right?
beasties
Yeah.
recover 20. Search your spell book for a beastie with a spell book limit of 1 and place it into your chapter. Into your hand.
Most tutors are good.
Do you have another one?
Yeah, I got another.
Open another one until you open the aura.
This is it. I have this one.
Oh, all right, Mike. No pressure.
What is the aura? It's the, remember what it's
Dual
called?
land.
Yeah, it's a duel.
There's one dual land, right? No, there's all the things.
All the
connected
earth
to
combos.
Earth, right?
Yeah.
Whoop. That's not even foil.
Womp womp. You got wrecked. Or me. Wait, what's that? What's that little? Is there a shiny? Is the symbol shiny? Is the signature?
Because it's a rare.
Okay.
Equip this to target artifact beastie. If equipped beastie is not in the beastie giant, it gains plus 80 LP, loses the traits, and cannot gain traits. If equipped beastie is a beastie giant, it gains and blah blah. Cool.
Cool.
Artwork on that was sweet.
Yeah, those look good.
That's cool.
Giant's
the other one
blood.
again.
Giant.
Yeah, show the
Blood.
shiny one.
This one's like kind of hard on camera because everything's so white.
Very
I like
sparkly. That's very
What
sparkly.
number is that? 25.
One.
No, one's always like the most rare one. Oh wait, is this it's got the special hollow pattern behind it? Yeah, you can see all the native symbols.
I can't. Your camera's doing great work. Oh yeah, I do see it.
There's a lot going on in that foiling.
Yeah.
Like
Metazoo has the best foiling.
I don't know. We talked a lot about the Phyrexian foiling having a lot going on. There's a lot going on in that foiling.
Complain about anything Magic related though, so it doesn't really count.
I
mean, like I love the foiling of Metazoo.
It's definitely iconic. I would love to see full art Metazoo cards, like that. Like, you know what I mean?
I agree.
I think that would be pretty cool. I've said this for years. I think hold on, let me figure out I'm gonna be upside down for a second.
Thank God.
Look at that. I'm on the ceiling. That's so cool.
You're not.
I've said for I've said for a long time, I think Metazoo should do like some really rare cards, like high chase rarity that are not in the Metazoo artwork style, but in more like classic fantasy artist style. Like imagine if they had.
Oh my God, they could buy a Christopher Rush painting. Oh my God, they could do that.
Imagine if they had like,
and have his ghost sign it.
Oh my gosh. Imagine if they had like Seb McKinnon come out and do a Mothman. And that was like, and it was like, one in 100 boxes or whatever had a Seb McKinnon Mothman.
I want that just because I want to see the protests in front of Mike's house. Like the riots that would take place.
Why?
Oh, listen, I don't mind Seb McKinnon's artwork. I like it. His fans are wild.
Why? I've never heard this before.
Wild.
Why is his fans wild?
They're very purist in nature, from my experience interacting with them.
Well, I just opened a Metazoo card on top of a Seb McKinnon playmat. Am I going to get in trouble?
God, I hope so.
Can we share this around to the Seb McKinnon fans so that they watch the videos?
Please, I need views. You sound like me. You sound like me. Please, I need views.
God, this is why I could never have a YouTube channel.
That's all I care about.
I could never care this much. I could never care this much.
It's like one of those weird things where you care. It's all you care about, and then you hit a goal. Like when I hit 2 million views, I was like, I should feel good about this. But why? Why is?
But you're chasing the dragon, dude. You're on the ride.
Why did it take 2 years?
You're on the ride. You're chasing the dragon.
Why did it take 2 years to get to 2 million views?
Why didn't it happen in 10 days?
You said 9,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
that's huge.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's like kind of nothing. But it will be cool when we hit 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah, 9,000 is nothing. 10,000 is everything. Come on, Josh.
9,000 is a weird number. Like you can't celebrate that, can you? Like I feel like you could celebrate at 7,500. And you could like it's got to be a quarter. Like
one of my favorite
like if
moments
somebody
in your
handed
channel
you, if somebody, go ahead.
If
somebody handed you 90 cents and died.
I see you turned it around on him. You turned it around on him.
One of my favorite moments of your channel was celebrating your 8,000 subscriber for like 3 weeks in a row. I think it was like your 7,000th subscriber.
Well, that was after the pivot. That was after the fall.
No, it was before the pivot, and we celebrated. I forget what number it was.
It was like 8,000. No, it was 7,000 because we did it twice. Because I hit it, and then I pivoted to Magic content, and I lost it. And then we did it again.
Now we're 9,000. Now, when you go to Pokemon next week, I want you to know I'm ready to celebrate 7,000 again.
Oh my gosh. The history of this channel has been wild. I mean, it's just been an ugly mess, and it's amazing.
It looks like it's
amazing that 9,000 people are here, and I appreciate you all. So thank you very much. I wouldn't do it without you. I would do something else.
You'd be a YouTuber with 5,000 subscribers.
No,
all right. Like the direct shots are just not required.
I have no clue how many subscribers you have.
Yeah,
over 5,000.
Congrats.
Okay, Native. Can we talk about Metazoo? Sorry, Metazoo.
Metazoo has more than 9,000 fans.
So Native's coming out. Releases the 15th. what do you guys like about the native theme and what do you not like about it? What are your thoughts on the set?
I love the dual auras.
Why?
Listen, I think so. Everybody I've talked to who's a Metazoo player has said this is the best set for players ever. You don't think so?
We heard that with Seance, though, didn't we? Didn't you say the same thing?
I
with
did not
Seance?
hear that with Seance. I heard that loud and clear for this set. Like I keep hearing this is like a pretty big shift. I think the duels kind of promote that mentality. People are pumped about it. People are excited.
This is the last set in the block, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
I don't know why I thought that.
I
thought we have War, which is like a culmination of a bunch of things, and then we move to
Island.
like not
Island.
Yeah. I think that that's something to say about native. Like I think like this being like a set that kind of maybe wraps up some of the loose ends of what is Metazoo, and then like they start on a fresh plane, so to say. I think is a really interesting dynamic for Metazoo.
I'm not familiar with West Virginia lore or methamphetamines. Which is the same thing, really. Can Mothmans fly to islands?
That is my biggest thing with Metazoo. I wish that the Mothman was just in every set.
You just wish every card was a Mothman.
Well, like it's the iconic Metazoo thing. So like a set without Mothman to me just doesn't. It doesn't do it.
Huh? Why are there so many Charizards?
Well, like that's what Pokemon does. I mean, like not every set, but like at least every other set has a Charizard. It does. Not really. But like there's a lot of Charizards. They at least every set has the original 150. Like something from the 150.
But so does Metazoo, right?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I haven't followed enough of native.
Somebody put in the comment. It's actually a really good point. I actually wonder if that's true. I thought they should. Every set should have something from the original set. I think that'd be awesome.
There's 174 cards in native. It seems like a lot. Like that like seems like a lot of different beasties and whatever. I would like to see Mothman go to the West Coast. Go to the rocks.
I want to see Mothman in a cowboy hat and a lasso.
Yeah, oh yes. Make that a promo, baby. Make that a promo.
He's just high on meth, lassoing anything that moves.
Anyway.
Oh my god.
Cool.
So Josh, what are your thoughts on methed out lasso Mothman?
Listen, I'm not letting you skip me. I'm going to share my thoughts on native. Metazoo needs to prove it to me. We've talked about this in the past. We've pivoted into this is the gameplay set. We've had big gameplay events. We've got duels, but for some reason they're only centered around one land type, one aura type.
Some reason it's that
it's because of the
set is rock.
For some reason, we'll never really know the reason for.
Well, listen, we're all about gameplay, but the duels aren't going to match up. Every single Metazoo set that has released since. Well, before this one, maybe since Cryptid Nation First Edition is currently selling, I believe, for less than it's supposed to. I think they're supposed to sell for, what is it? 120, 140 is what they're supposed to sell for?
Yeah.
Yeah, and every single box is under that, some criminally at around $43 to $45 for first edition.
If your card shop live.
Sure. Yes, there are others as well. I'm on TCG Player looking at them. So Metazoo needs to prove it to me. Metazoo can't just be about the IP and the secondary products anymore. It needs to be about the set until they do something with that IP and the secondary products. And I'm looking for this set to prove it to me. I'm interested to follow the price, severely reduced print runs, how the community absorbs that, how this box goes. I think that's a fair criticism that we would give any other trading card game. And I think that we need to see that here. Like, listen, UFO boxes, not that long ago, $43, right? Like,
I think.
Sorry, 44. It's $43.99.
I think that it's the same print run as what's it called
Seance.
Seance
Yeah.
solved a lot. I mean, Seance is like $82, I think, on TCG Player, $83.
Yeah, right.
With the printing issues.
That's with the print. Like Seance, like UFO, they came
I
out
don't
and
care.
said 100,000 boxes with too many. They have to print run for Seance. So they solved that, and it has had that's literally double the price from 43 to 80. I still think though, and I think I've said this before, like the CN1 price structure where it was $100 MSRP, I think that was a really big win. Like I think $100 MSRP is kind of a win for
Sure.
Metazoo. When you look at it that way, I think that I agree, but I think that's cheap now. I mean,
But if we were living in that world, that
That's
would be
fair.
fine. But we're not living in that world. That's not the MSRP. That's not the world we live in. We got to judge these things with the rules that Metazoo sets around itself.
That's what I'm saying. That is my point, that it should go to the MSRP of $100.
But if they're going to keep...
Gosh, you sound like the methed out Mothman.
Why? Because I want the box to be worth what the box is supposed to be worth?
I think that would be an appropriate price to...
Louis like, I want to change the MSRP. Like, you can't do that, Louis.
And I think they
can, but they haven't.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see where the market absorbs this. It'll be interesting to watch. I think Native, the theme is not as exciting to me. Well, I didn't really like Seance, but UFO.
Really?
Yeah, like Seance is just weird. It was a weird one.
I like Seance. I like this one a lot. I like Native a lot.
I mean, like Native currently available, Louis, and you're pinging us about Magic sets that are not out that are currently available. Currently available at $110 a box.
What am I doing?
Like,
what am I saying?
You're pinging us about Magic.
I said I wanted MSRP to $100.
No, I'm saying, but that's not what MSRP is. I want MSRP to be $40 because then these boxes are going crazy and everyone's happy.
I'm in.
But that's not the world we live in, right? But you were telling us that Magic the Gathering product that isn't released yet being sold at a value that you think is under what it should be before release. Well, Native's at 110.
Yeah, but Magic the Gathering, my point with the Magic the Gathering product was that it's selling for less after fees and shipping and everything. Stores are already breaking even selling on TCG.
That's also not true.
That is true. It's only not true for you because you order in such high volume. Like that is true. Like this, like the pre-order prices, the point in our private conversation, which you two bozos keep bringing up on the podcast, of which nobody has any effing context for what we are talking about, mind you, was that I said that the box is coming out at $210 for a collector box on TCG Player is too low. At $110 for a Metazoo box, there's still plenty of profit to be made for specifically for partners. So like you're using my point against me that doesn't match up at all.
Yeah. God, Josh, I hate when you make me agree with Louis. It's like the worst thing about you.
Listen, it's supposed to sell at what, 140?
It's like that Miley Cyrus song, The 9 Things I Hate About You. Josh, that's 1 through 9 for you.
Yeah,
that's fine.
MSRP is 140. The map pricing I think is 120. I think it's like 80% or whatever it is. I think map pricing is 120 or 112 or something like that. I don't actually know. I agree with you. I think $100 MSRP is fine. Rudy's bundle is under map for sure. Rudy's bundle is like 320, I think, like that. It comes with two.
Really?
Yep. I don't know exactly what it is. It's two of every SKU. I think it was like 329 or something like that.
Rudy.
Sorry, two of every SKU. If I said three, it's two of every SKU.
Yeah.
So like I get it. I don't know how they should price it, but like I think that there is going to be demand for this box equal to Seance. Like I don't know. I don't know why there would be less than Seance ever. Like
I think there'll be more demand than Seance.
So I think boxes end up $80-$90, and like that is, if you look at like pricing for partners, at least, like that's plenty of realistic things in the future when partners are able to sell it for that price point. So yeah, I don't know.
It's also like, I mean, like, and this is where Metazoo is weird. Like they don't, like, TCG Player is not the preferred means of selling.
What is?
eBay and whatnot.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this does on Whatnot, because Whatnot has been so like absorbed by different card games. Like it used to be Metazoo, Pokemon, and like even Magic wasn't really on it. But now 2 years later, like Pokemon, Magic, every single card game. Akora, they just had like a deal with Cryptic where streamers for whatnot could get boxes. Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, it'll be interesting to see if this takes off on whatnot and those kind of platforms. But who knows? I gotta figure out whatnot. I gotta figure out if I'm ever gonna do that or not.
I know you're not, but I know we will talk about it every day.
I gotta figure out my life.
Wow. All right.
And that's the perfect end to this podcast. Wow.
Thank you all for joining us tonight.
All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to go.
Happy birthday
No,
to
listen.
you.
No, you guys missed it. Lauren, thank you.
Happy
birthday to you.
You're 2 days late.
Happy
Josh called me.
birth
Josh called me like 4 times on my birthday. I didn't answer.
twice.
He
Twice.
called me before. He called me at midnight on my birthday. That's a good friend. George
I don't
was
think I did
asleep.
that.
You did.
I don't think I did that.
I don't think you. I was wondering if you knew that it was my birthday because I kind of feel like you didn't. But you called me at 12:05.
I totally knew it was your birthday. I was calling to wish you happy birthday and give you your gift, but you didn't answer, so I kept your gift.
You were
Happy birthday,
What'd you do for your birthday,
dear Louis.
What day?
How many birthdays did you have?
Yeah, wait.
My I shouldn't say this.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, everyone,
great.
have a great day. Be kind to the people around you. Metazoo be with you.
And also with you.
And also with
Go
you.
Too
subscribe.
late.
Go subscribe to Josh's channel.
Nope, you already said the thing. Cut it.
Go spend your money at gamegrove.gg.
Gamergrove.gg.
Gamegrove.gg.
GameGroves.gg's.
Oh, God, Game Groves. That's a good one.
If you're local, come to pre-release next Friday.
Gamergroves.gg.
Bye, everyone.
You can play Louis' favorite set.
Be kind to the people around you. May the zoo be with you. And
And
also,
also
with
with
you. Goodbye.
you.